Welcome to Living Chassidus. Together, let's live the Chassidus we learn.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Chassidus in the morning. 15 minutes to change our lives. We're going to say Aleph Pashas Yisro. Very, very special Pasha. Pasha Yisro very special for a few reasons. One of them is because we also have Matan Torah on the Sesa Dibros. And also Yisro himself is part of the process of bringing the Torah down. He brought also like Mbasa Lagani, Shev Tzadikim Rida Shalomata. I think Yisro is one of them. So Yisro, he added a Pasha in Torah, it says. And ultimately, Yisro is a very good marshal because we talk about Yisro in the context of he did all this Avodah Zarah. And then he came to the recognition of now I know that Hashem is greater than all other gods. So yeah, so Yisro is very interesting, and we're going to learn very interesting. And also we're going to learn today how to, this is a good lesson in how the Rebbe brings things down and how we can do the, and how to, for ourselves to look when we learn how to understand how to apply things. Let's go. Parashas Yisro. The Matan Torah, Nemar, by Matan Torah it says, Hashem says, he says all these things, saying. So the question is, and we're going to ask this question, it's a very famous question, what does it mean saying? Hashem says, Hashem said all these things, saying. Why did you say Hashem said all these things? And he'll start saying all these things. So what does it mean saying? Lema. The question, what does this mean, Lema? Generally, when you say Lema, what does it mean in the Torah when we said the word Lema? Lema means say to the Jewish people, which means there is Jewish people, meaning that Moshe is hearing it, and he has to pass over the message to the Jewish people. Yeah, Shaloi Shamu es Hamira. But in regards to Matan Torah, Keshekol B'nai Yisrael Nechachu. But Kulam Shamu Ma Shemir Shalemer. But by Matan Torah, all the Yidden were there. We all know the Yidden were standing, they camped, Kishachad Blevachad, and are ready for Matan Torah. And by Matan Torah, they all heard. So what's going on? What is it? Doesn't make sense to say Lamer means say to the people that are not there. They're all there. Now you're gonna might say, what do you mean? It's talking about saying to us. We're not there. You can't say it's talking about the generation going to come. Because all the neshamas are there, even the neshamas of ours. So you know the famous joke that people say when you meet someone like, oh, I know you from somewhere. So yeah, I'm starting with Matan Torah. We're all there. All the neshamas are there. So the lamer seems to be superfluous. You can't say lamer means it's talking about people that aren't there, and you can't say it's talking about generations that aren't there because everyone was there. So what does it mean? So Magid Mezrich explains like this: Magid Mezrich Nishas Yeden Mitaritz in Yanishal Matan Torah who lahamshich es asas adibrei shvatir l'tech esam amarish b'hem nivar elam. So like we know from Tanya in Shiur Yichud that there's 10 utterances that create the world and make the world continue to exist. And then you have also another 10, which is the 10 dibros, the Sesa Dibros. And then the Magid says, the lamer trying to teach you that saying, take those 10 sayings of the Sesa Dibros and bring it into the Asam Amaris, the 10 utterances that create the world. Bring them together. You do appears, I can know an explanation, La Pasuk, Asara, Hakaf, B'Shakla HaKodesh. 10 is the spoon of weighing the holy weight. So what does that mean? That the 10 mamaris are connected, are equally weighed with the 10 utterances that create the world. And we're saying not just the fact that they're 10, but they have this synonymous to each other. 10 utterances, Torah, the world with the Sesa Dibros, the Torah. Therefore, Nemar, And he spoke, saying, Lahamshich es vaidaber, to draw down the some Dibris, Belamer Lasamamoris. That's what the Maggid says. He says in very simple, you take the Torah and tries to be brought down into the world. That's some Dibris into the Samamoris. So the Rebbe is going to explain now, straight into it, what does it mean, the Pashtus? What does it mean in our day-to-day lives? And this is another example of what I was saying in the beginning, that we have to, how to be able to look when we learn and see how to apply these ideas. So a person can learn this verse of the Maggid. So you have to bring the Sar Mamaris, that says a different Sar Mamaris, the 10 commandments into the 10 utterances. Okay, very good. But if you don't think about it, you don't bring about it, say, hey, what does that mean? Talk to someone about it. Say, let me try to explain this. Let me understand this. What does it mean to take the Torah and bring it into the world? So then it doesn't apply. Then these things don't matter to you and don't make a difference to you. But the Maggid was just saying something very deep. So the Rebbe is going to teach it out for us. The Rebbe is going to show it to us. But it's a good way to learn how to see ideas when we learn Chassidus, how to bring them out. So the explanation in Avodas Hashem is like this: the light of Torah, which is Aseret Dibros, has to light up in the physical world. Not like the people that hold there's Torah and then there's the world, and the two separate things, there's two separate arenas, and then they come together. When you're in a Torah environment, when you're in shul, when you're in the base medrash, when you're in your Torah home, you have to act like a person full of Torah. When you go into the world, but when you go into the world, you have to act like the world acts. You have to fit in. Or the fear kivun, and the way that they act. You speak the way they speak. You fit in. It's like the story. When I was a bacha, I was at a Shabbaton, and the Sheikh was telling us the story. He was a very Chassidish Yid. He was a Sheikh in Chabad, and he was davening b'Aveda. He came to our for rain like 2:00, and he said he once went to meet a balabas, and they were having like some meeting or something, and there was another guy, the Yid. He was part of the meeting, and this the Sheikh was fundraising for the Mesid of Chabad, and he said that at one point he started being a little bit speaking not a very clean way. So the Sheikh sort of moved to the side. He very clearly stood away, like this is not for me. Whereas the other guy, the other from Yid, he was in the business dealing. He was trying to connect. He didn't want to walk away, make himself look bad. So he stood there, and he stood there while they were behaving and speaking, not menschlich. And he said it's very, very important that way we behave it doesn't change from when we're in shul, when we're in a Torah environment, to when we're in the outside world environment. We should be the same people. We shouldn't be two different people. And this is what a lot of people, especially when the Sikh was said in 1953, it was very much like that. That people were trying to fit in, came to America. America was a land of opportunity, but they thought that in order to get that opportunity, you have to fit in. And so a lot of people, they were fitting in, they're trying to fit in. So they were trying to forgetting about this. We don't have to try to fit in. We don't have to try to bend ourselves, change ourselves. We have to be menschlich and respectful, but it doesn't mean we have to change our standards. And you can come to your workplace and have the same standards, and from all the experiences that I've heard from myself and my friends that have been, they go into work, and let's say like I had a friend, he just started a new job, and they had a lunch, and they told him, lunch. So he said, I'm really sorry, but I don't eat in kosher restaurants. I said, that's fine, we'll do it in a kosher restaurant. And when you stand strong, you don't try to bend in and say, I'll go to the restaurant, but I'll put on a cap and I won't eat, or I'll have just a salad, or I'll just drink. And that way it doesn't work. We have to take the Aseret Dibros and put it into the Sam Amaris, the lamer. That's what we're saying here. Adam Nidrash Shekol Yanav. Everything we have to. It's required of us to take everything, even the things, and including the things of this world. When we deal with in the physical world, you have to be a Teriad. It's very important. It's a very good opportunity to make a Kiddush Hashem. So it says, look, I'm clarifying over here. We're not talking about things that are forbidden. That's obvious. If it's forbidden, it's forbidden. I'm not saying you can, like you have to make sure not to do things that are awesome. That's not a chiddush. That's not what the Rebbe coming to mechadish here. You don't need the Rebbe to tell you that. We're talking about even things that are permissible. That you can do something, you can, so to speak, it's not that important or whatever. You can bend it a little bit, just put it on a cap. Or, don't hide your shaitel, or whatever it is, these little things. Just shake someone's hand. It's not a. You can shake this. There's the heterim. It's not b'derech chiba. Just stomp for work. Things like this. You could do this. It's not awesome. Even though it's mutter, you don't have to. It doesn't have to be that way. It shouldn't be that way. Hanacha is balabatim. Shabalabatish hanachis, meaning people just want to just fit in, just have a nice normal life. It has to be a tearaway. When you go and you work, it has to be permeated with you that you're a frum Jew and you behave like a mensch, and everything that you do is and people look at you different, not in a bad way different, but in a good way. And they don't look at you as one of us. When I was in a little funny, when I was in public school, I also started to try to fit in a little bit. I clearly stood out. Everyone thought I was Jewish, I didn't shave, I had some tzitzis. In the beginning, I covered my yarmulke or a cap until I didn't. But at a certain point, I started, I was influenced by the surrounding. And I remember I did something and someone told me, one of the kids, he's like, you can't do that. So what do you mean? He goes, you're Jewish. You can't behave that way. And this is what the Rebbe is saying, that I was starting to have the balabatish hanachis. I was trying to fit in, trying to act cool, be like everyone else, only stand out. But that's what I was meant to be. We have to take that Asam Maris, the Seres Dibros, and bring to the Asam Maris, the lamer, saying that what we learn in seminary, when we learn, hopefully every morning, and at night, and when the davening and all the things happen where we're living in our Jewish environment, has to be brought out into that physical, into the world, the workplace, into that environment when we go to the supermarket or whatever it is, the outside environment has to be brought down with it. Gimel. Zogam mashmos, and then this also we can see this idea from what it says. It was for me tears of bread day and night. Be'emer saying, Be'emer alai kol hayom. We say I said to myself all of the day, where is my God? I'm going to hold this off for tomorrow. Tomorrow we're going to discuss this. But just to summarize what we said today, Matan Torah says, Hashem spoke. It's called the very me'ela. All these things, Lamar saying. The question is, why do we say saying? You can't say. Normally, when it says saying in the Torah, saying means say to the Yidden that aren't there. Hashem is telling Moshe, and Moshe should say to the Jewish people. Now, by Matan Torah, all the Yidden were there. So, what does the saying mean? So, you're going to say saying means the generations in our brain that are going to come. All the other generations, us. So, we can't say that either because by Matan Torah, all the Neshamim are there. So, therefore, what does it mean saying? So the Maggid Mimezrich says that the saying means take the Asam Maris and bring it into the Asas Dibros, bring it to the Asam Maris. Take the 10 commandments and bring it into the 10 items to create the world. Lamer saying meaning say to the world. take the Torah and bring it down to the world. And the Rebbe teaches it, the Rebbe explains it in very simple language, and you could take it in other ways as well. This is the example the Rebbe is giving, but any way that it applies to you, they're taking the Torah and making sure to bring it down into your gashistic world, into your physical world, outside of the Mizgeres, the bubble of Torah. When it means it could be going to work, it could be going to the supermarket, it could be going to the park, wherever it is, that the Yiddishkeit and the Chassidishkeit to be the same way. And the Rebbe is making it very clear. We're not talking about mitzvahs and averis, because something that's forbidden to do. We're not saying you should also try to do it and not do it. That's it's forbidden. It's forbidden. It's halachically, it's not a question. We're talking about the other things, the hanachas, the way you behave, the way you act, the way you look at yourself at work or wherever it is in the outside world that you find yourself. The way you portray yourself in the act has to be in line. It should be the same person. You shouldn't be two different people. You shouldn't be when someone comes and meets you at your workplace. They're like, "Who's this guy?" Some people, they go to work. They wear a baseball cap for men or whatever it is. The women try to dress like they fit in. And when you come to your community, behave similarly. It's like people go on vacation. I remember a lot of people told me they have friends and they see pictures of them on vacation. It's like a totally different person. This is what we're talking about. You're not a different person on vacation. You're the same from Yid on vacation. You dress the same way. You act the same way. And this is what we're saying. And this is the Vart, the Magnum Medrich. Tomorrow we'll continue with the next Vart. Have a great day.
Thank you. You too.